Hello everyone, thanks for pressing play. You are watching a brand new episode of ExcaliburCCGTV. We are here in Shreveport, Louisiana, Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games. You can always find out what we're doing, what's going on at ExcaliburCCG.com. Be sure and like us on Facebook. The link is down below in the description below. Hey, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because every week we come together to talk about the great comics hitting the shelf for that week. And this week we are talking about October 15th, the comics hitting then. This guy is not Randy. This is Buzz. Buzz is one of our locals here in Shreveport, in here at the shop, and an all-around great guy, and I'm glad that he has the time to be on the show with me today, so be kind.
Glad to be here. This is Randy's hammer.
This is Randy's hammer. That's awesome. And folks, listen, we do have the banned books library edition of the Talking Comics show up, so I'll put a link. There's a link down below. You can go and watch our banned books episode that we did live at the Broadmoor Library here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and you can watch it in its entirety. The MP3 is even available of that as well. So if you want to download the MP3, you can listen to that. And as always, if this episode is too long for you to sit down and watch, you can always click the link down below to go to our website, download the MP3, and be off and running listening to our episode on the go. So Buzz is going to be joining me today. This was kind of short notice, so he's going to work with me. There's several things that we're going to talk about together because he's a huge comic book fan and very appropriate for this month because he's a huge horror fan as well.
Yes, I am.
You've been reading the Strain books?
No, I've been watching the TV series, The Strain. I've been reading the actual book of The Strain, not the actual comic book.
Yeah, yeah. So he's like a horror guy, and we're going to have some fun with the question of the week as well. So moving on. We're going to dive right into the storylines that are hitting this week. If you're getting any of these, I want you to chime in and talk with me about them. So we're going to start off with Robin Rises. Batman and Robin number 35 hits this week.
I have been reading this. I think I'm caught up to the date on it.
Yeah, because like the last issue, Batman had the suit and was taken off to Apokolips.
Yes,
boom.
Right.
So that continues with this issue with Batman being on Apokolips and trying to recover the body of Robin. But the question is, will he walk alone on Apokolips? Will he be alone on that quest there? So if you're getting the Robin Rises stories and you're very interested in that, don't miss Batman and Robin number 35. Moving on, the Godhead storyline, the Green Lantern aspect of the DC Universe hits this week with Green Lantern New Guardians number 35. Kyle Rayner went beyond the source wall. He saw what happened there, and now there's been trouble brewing, and Highfather has come to help him in his time of need. But desperation will always lead to some bad choices. And they know that maybe it's not the best thing for them to trust Highfather, but they do, and we will see the consequences of that. Now, have you been getting Death of Wolverine?
Yes, I have.
Because Death of Wolverine number 4 hits this week.
Yes, sir, it does.
The last issue.
Yep, we're going to find out how he dies.
I know. What are you thinking? I'm thinking Ogun's going to take him out.
I'm thinking Ebola.
Ebola? Yes! Yes!
Or metal poisoning.
Exactly. Tetanus to the nth degree.
How has he lived this long, without his healing factor, with a skeleton full of mouth?
Exactly. I don't know how that works either.
Comic world.
So we saw last issue where Kitty Pryde has some kind of serum form that she injected him with,
like a short-term healing factor.
Yeah, and actually it wasn't really even Kitty Pryde, was it? It was it was Ogun took over her body. So there we go. And this issue, this is supposed to be the issue where Wolverine dies.
It is. So
we will see. Maybe Marvel has another ace up their sleeve. I don't know. We will see. Moving on, Avengers and X-Men AXIS number 2. This is the Red Supremacy still continuing. If you read the first issue, you saw the major conflict that happened with that first issue. In this issue, we're taking a look at the revelation of Tony Stark's dark secret. We're looking at Nova attempting to solve the crisis that's going on, and Magneto does another betrayal in this issue. So, there we go.
Never trust Magneto.
I know, seriously. I love Magneto, too.
Yeah,
that's kind of one of the reasons why.
His series is pretty good.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying Magneto's series.
Yes.
I kind of wish he wasn't. I mean, I understand how he has to be a part of this whole Axis event because of those connections. But I've been really enjoying the early issues up to that, just him focusing on his hunting and doing what he's doing.
Especially with the Red Skull having Nazi affiliations and all that
exactly.
stuff. Magneto with
Yeah.
Jewish
Huge, huge connection there. So moving on, we got a couple of tie-ins to the Avengers and X-Men AXIS event. We got Loki, Agent of Asgard, #7. We get to see what Victor Von Doom has done to Loki. Apparently, he has sentenced him to death for crimes against his future self. So we'll get to delve into that and see what's going on with Loki. Also, Magneto #11, just like we talked about, that ties in to the Avengers and Axis event that's hitting this week. So be sure and take a look at that. Edge of the Spider-Verse #5. We hyped it up, not hyped it up, but we told you about it in previous weeks because Gerard Way is writing this issue. The lead singer, musician for My Chemical Romance. Yeah. There we go. He also did the comic book series, The Umbrella Academy. Yeah. So this is his first Marvel work, and he's introducing us to a new Spider character called Spider, but it's SP / back, or what is it? Backslash DR, some kind of like a website or something, some type of command line prompt way of spelling it. So I'm looking forward to seeing who this character is and what is going on with him, because the other issues have been really good. The issues with especially the one with Gwen Stacy as Spider-Man, and then the next issue where it was kind of a horror aspect where another guy was bitten by the spider, but he was already messed up as it was. Yeah. So there we go. But #5, that's the last issue of the Edge of the Spider-Verse miniseries. And we got some other series, including the Spider-Verse two-part issues that'll be coming out pretty soon to deal with all the spiders and everything going on.
Now, is that still going on through Superior Spider-Man 2, or is that over now?
I think it's still connected to that. They haven't really been forthcoming with exactly like how much more Superior Spider-Man we're supposed to get. So I think that's still continuing with that. And then time runs out. New Avengers #25 hits this week with Jonathan Hickman, Mike Deodato. In 7 months, time runs out. We've been talking about this storyline because of the big, huge changes that have already happened where we've jumped ahead in the Avengers universe a few months down the road. And if you've been reading New Avengers, it has been crazy. It has been crazy awesome. And we got to see in the last issue, if I'm not mistaken, of New Avengers where Namor has created the Cabal with Thanos and all these other characters that were killing worlds to save their own. And he's kind of lost control of it, but he went to Dr. Doom for help. Dr. Doom's got plans of his own. So we will get to see more and more of what's going on with the Illuminati and the Cabal, maybe some more Dr. Doom, and go from there and see what's happening with that.
Thanos and Dr. Doom, what a couple of guys to trust there, huh?
I know, seriously. One on each side of you. You're like sandwiched in between the two of them.
Namor does like have a flat head on top of it.
Exactly. And that's it for the storylines. Moving on, we are going to talk about our question of the week. And I'm excited to hear what Buzz has to say about this, because the question of the week this week is, it's simple, guys. It's Halloween. The question of the week is simply this: what is your favorite horror movie ever? Tell me what you think, man.
Not necessarily the scariest, but my favorite, I would have to say, is the very first original Halloween by John Carpenter.
Yeah?
Yep. I love it. I watch it every year around Halloween. Sometimes I'll try to make it through the whole, however many there were, 7 or 8 up to 10, however many of them are. But yeah, I'd have to say the original Michael Myers, not the Rob Zombie one. The Rob Zombie one was okay, but the original, just, way back when, kid kills his sister, gets put in an asylum, escapes on the day before Halloween, I believe.
Okay.
And then his doctor is looking for him, and he goes back, and once you go through all the series, you find out that he was after his sister in the first one, Lori.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, Halloween, gotta say that was my first one. I do like Night of the Living Dead, but I will have to put Halloween right above that one. So.
That's cool. So I'm not a vintage kind of horror guy. I've seen some of those Halloween movies and stuff, but I think mine would be more of a recent one, because I don't know, it just really kind of freaked me out. But I would have to say mine would be Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
That was the first one for me. That was just too freaky, too in line of like maybe some beliefs or ideas of things, and that was just too freaky for me, man. It really was. And then the subsequent ones have been equally as freaky to me, but nothing like the first one there for me. So that's mine. We got Halloween here, Paranormal Activity here. You tell us in the comments below your favorite horror movie ever. It can be horror, slasher, whatever. Some mix, some fusion of something that came out, where all that, whatever. Have fun with it. Tell us in the comments below.
Think Universal monsters too. Look at all them.
Yeah, there's all this. There's classics.
Technically a horror movie.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Dracula, all that stuff.
Even though it's older stuff, it's still for that. It was scared the bejesus. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Moving on to our new number ones. We talked about how Wolverine's supposed to die this week. Now we get a 7-issue miniseries of The Death of Wolverine, Logan Legacy. This is a series that's going to focus on the void filled by Logan being gone. And we got various characters who are going to try to step up to the plate to find out more about Logan's past and what's going to go on with their future. We're looking at X-23, Sabretooth, Daken, Lady Deathstrike, and Mystique all coming in, and this series focusing on them because I guess those are some of the main Wolverine family characters that we've seen over the years.
And you got to figure, as long as the guy's been around, he's got to have more kids than just 2 of them.
I know, seriously.
Sure.
Did you read the storyline where he killed some of his kids? Didn't even know it?
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't laugh at that now that I mention it.
He's got kids.
He's got kids. There's kiddos out there. Are you a Deadpool fan?
Not lately. I like a lot of the old stuff. I'm not opposed to Deadpool, but I haven't been reading it lately. So.
Well, you might want to check out Deadpool: The Art of War, #1 hitting the shelf this week.
Peter David. I will have to check that out.
Yeah, he's a great writer. But any of you that have read Sun Tzu's classic book, The Art of War, well, get ready to have it interpreted to you Deadpool style. With this 4-issue miniseries, we got Peter David, Scott Koblish on the art, and it's going to be Art of War as only Deadpool can tell you about it for this week, starting this week. Also, guys, if you're fans of the horror action TV series Sleepy Hollow, we got a 4-issue miniseries hitting this week from, who is it here? Boom Studios hitting. This takes a look at the town of Sleepy Hollow. You got Ichabod Crane and Abby Mills, the lieutenant that he's working with to fight off the 4 horsemen that have come to the earth. In this particular miniseries, we take a look at miracles start happening all over Sleepy Hollow until the miracles turn into something else, and they have to get to the root of that and find out what the problem is. I've kind of liked Sleepy Hollow. I've been checking it out.
I haven't watched it. I should.
It just started the 2nd season.
Okay.
And there was some different takes on it, different takes on history and the horror and all that. It's been the Headless Horseman runs around in there, so that's kind of cool. It's still freaky to even see. Where's your head?
But is the Headless Horseman Christopher Walken?
No, it's not. So, so boo. Moving on, DC Comics is mixing up some of their supernatural characters with Trinity of Sin. This is a new series focusing on Pandora, the Phantom Stranger, and the Question. They've hated each other for centuries. Now they're going to have to start working together. We have J.M. DeMatteis and Yvel Goucher. They're going to be writing and drawing this new series. They have to work together to save humanity and keep their darkest secrets to themselves to save the universe. How old's your oldest?
She will be 3 this month.
Has she gotten into Skylanders yet?
No.
Well, mine has. They love Skylanders. And Skylanders #1 from IDW Publishing hits the shelf this week. So we got another game being made into a comic for that crowd, for the kids.
So I should go ahead and pick it up so when she does get into it, I can be like, hey, look, there's a comic book.
Hey, yeah, you never know.
Great Christmas ideas right there.
There we go. It doesn't seem like she's going to be too far off from that. My son has been enamored by them for a couple years now. So there we go. We got Ron Mars, David Valdion bringing the smash hit video game to comic books. If your kids love Skylanders, they should have a ton of fun with this new Skylanders series. And last up, for the new #1s from Titan Comics, Doctor Who, the 12th Doctor, #1, gets his own series. The current Doctor Who that you're watching on BBC America has his own series now. So we've got 10th Doctor has a series, 11th Doctor has a series, and now the 12th Doctor has his own series, all from Titan Comics. That starts again this week. That's it for the new number ones that I have for this week. We're going to be moving on to our next segment, which is our favorites. These are the comics that are coming out on the 15th that we buy and read, and are some of our favorites. Usually the first things that we read at the top of our stack. So there will be spoilers ahead. But before we dive into that, we're going to talk about our favorites from last week. So, Buzz, you checked out a couple of things last week. Start off with what you think would be your most favorite from last week.
First book I read last week, just because of the hype of it and the curiosity and the fact that it's Halloween, would be Scott Snyder's Witches.
Yes.
Jock was on the art on it. Just a gripping story from beginning to end. You know, if you like horror comics, it's definitely for you. And I mean, the horror aspect of this issue wasn't real high. You know, it wasn't too gory. You know, if you're worried about, you know, blood and all that stuff. I mean, there was a little bit of, you know, violence, but, you know, nothing you wouldn't be able to handle.
Yeah, exactly.
But really good story. I'm not going to tell you much about it just because, you know, you need to experience it.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. And I think my favorite moment was pledged is pledged.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that awesome, man?
Ah, you should have had Major.
The hammer. Pledged is pledged.
And I don't know if you read in the back with the scripted part, that originally was a longer scene.
Oh, no, I didn't get a chance to read through all that, so that's cool.
I won't go into it, but yeah.
So you also checked out another new number one from last week.
Yep. Two other number ones, actually. Birthright and October Faction. Birthright by Joshua Williamson. He does Ghosted and Captain Midnight. Both excellent books, too, if you're not reading them. But Birthright was kind of a fantasy type book. And spoiler alert here, it's about a kid who disappears and his family kind of just falls apart once he disappears. People think his dad killed him, and then this Lord of the Rings reject is what they called him in the book, shows up, and they are interrogating him, and he's recounting the events of that day. Yeah. It's a year later that this guy shows back up, and his family the kid's family is called in to see this guy, and his dad knows right away, just looking at him, that, can I tell him?
Yeah.
That it's his son.
Yeah.
But he's a grown man now. Yes. Got the beard, the Lord of the Rings armor looking stuff, Hercules, you know, that kind of stuff. But anyway, it was a good book. If you like fantasy, if you don't, very twisted ending to the first issue. Can't recommend it more.
Yeah. I really the story was great, and I hadn't seen this artist before. I really liked the artist.
Yeah, the art was very good in it.
Yeah, so that really... Tell me about October Faction as well, because you were mentioning something about that earlier.
October Faction, it's kind of like got a Van Helsing vibe, where there's these two monster hunters. They, you know, hunted various monsters back in the day. Now one of them's like a college professor, and the other one's like a recovering drug addict. So, but they're brought back together. And I won't tell you too much about this one either, but it's also a horror book. You know, they're fighting monsters, obviously, but it's, you know, from the hero's point of view more so than the witches, with the actual kind of, you know, various points of view from the story.
Exactly.
Monsters, and, you know, you don't really know what's going on yet in the book. So
right. Yeah, Witches, man, that was a really good one. That really was.
And it was only $3, right?
Yeah, it was an oversized issue for only $2.99. So I think we got like 30 pages.
All three of those books were $2.99.
Now that you mention it, I don't know about October Faction, but Birthright
was
too.
$2.99. Yeah,
I like that.
Still the lowest comic price you can get.
Yes, exactly.
For the very first issue.
So I love that when publishers do that. They give you the extra story to sink your hooks into what's going on and get you those extra pages. For me, from last week, these were great. But I think the one that really took it for me was Copperhead #2 from Image Comics. We get to take a look at the new sheriff in town there in Copperhead, and the dynamic of the family that was murdered in the first issue, and how the sheriff's son was involved. That freaked me out a little bit, especially at the very end. The murder happens, some type of valueless but then very valuable relic is taken from someone's home, and then we get to see who possibly might have that and how they were affected in the whole storyline with that. So Copperhead number 2, I think, was my favorite of last week. So that's it for our favorites from last week. We're going to move on to what we're looking forward to for this coming week, and right off the bat, we're going to talk about Hulk number 7. I'm digging this Hulk series.
Yeah, if you're not reading the Hulk right now, he's what is the thing that's been inserted to him that's made him smart? What do they call that?
The Extremis.
Extremis, yeah, from Shield, right?
Tony Stark.
Yeah, the
Iron
Agents
Man.
of Shield. Yeah, oh yeah, Iron Man 3. Right,
Exactly.
Right.
He created all that. Or was involved in the
In
creation.
the beginning of this Hulk series, he had been shot in the head, and he was kind of the exact opposite of what he is now, where he was just kind of a raging lunatic, and didn't have a rhyme or reason, kind of like the old Hulk back in the day. But now he's a very smart Hulk, not like the one that Peter David wrote, but like a pompous, kind of stuck on himself Hulk, who won't even refer to himself as the Hulk or Bruce Banner. He refers to himself as Dr. Green.
Doc Green.
Dr. Green, yes.
Yeah.
He is not a pleasant person to by any means of the characters in his book, but if you saw last issue, you saw that it was the end of A-Bomb, because Doc Green is about to wipe out anybody and everybody that has been affected by gamma radiation.
Exactly.
And this issue looks like he's going after his own kid.
Yeah, Scar. Going after Scar. So, I don't. That's going to be interesting to me because, from my understanding, Scar wasn't affected. He was born this way.
He can turn into a human.
He can.
Yes,
Okay, because I'm not real familiar with Scar. So
he's just a kid, though.
Okay. So there we go. So now Doc Green, he's already set his sights on Rick Jones, transform him. Now he's setting his sight with this issue, number 7, with Scar. And I'm totally digging this storyline with Doc Green. I don't know what the end game is, because he is going after all these gamma-powered beings, heroes or villains.
I'm anxious to see him run into his old father-in-law, too.
Yes.
Rolk.
Yes. That's going to be awesome. So
I imagine that's going to be toward the end of this whole story arc.
Yeah, I
can't imagine them going after him.
Yeah. And then the conflict with we still have the conflict of She-Hulk to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Doc Samson.
Doc Samson's dead.
Is he? I don't know.
He died in
It's been a while since I've seen him, so he may be.
I think Doc Samson is dead. Let us know in the comments, maybe.
Yeah, you guys tell us, because I'm not an aficionado.
I think he's dead, though.
Exactly. Tell us about another one you're looking forward to for next week.
Spider-Man 2099 by Peter David as well. It's issue number 4, I believe. But if you haven't been reading the Spider-Man 2099 stuff, he came back in time and Superior Spider-Man, back when Doc Ock was still Spider-Man,
exactly.
And he is actually protecting his own grandfather, who is actually a villain in the future.
Right.
And he's got the Spider Slayers after him, and the Scorpion, who he fought last issue, who had a new suit built by his grandfather.
Of course.
And now he is actually, Miguel is actually with his grandfather and Matt Gargan. Isn't that Scorpion's name, Matt Gargan?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And I think
anyway, the last panel of the last issue, Matt Gargan says, "Do I know you?" Yeah, after they had just got through fighting.
That's awesome. Yeah, you might know him a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit, but
that's cool. That's a cool one. I'm glad to see Peter Davis still putting work out there.
And my last one that I'm looking forward to is Judge Dredd number 24. Going through they brought in a lot of new evil judges with Judge Death, obviously, and just various other judges. And anyway, that story arc's going on right now.
Okay.
Judge Dredd's been jumping back and forth between these cities. He's a wanted fugitive right now. And it's written by Dwayne Swarinski, who also writes X. But anyway, if you are into Dredd at all, like the movie, definitely pick up this book. You might want to pick up a few back issues of it to get caught up on this actual storyline, but very high on my list of reads.
Very cool. Honestly, I think that's the first time Judge Dredd's been mentioned on the show, so... Boom. Mm-hmm. Kudos to you, sir.
Yeah.
Any Judge Dredd fans out there, tell us below. Also, coming out this week for me for the 15th, Daredevil number 9. Loving Daredevil, loving this series. We got to see the last issue where Matt Murdock's time in San Francisco took a dark turn because the Purple Man apparently the Purple Man went and sowed his seeds, and now he has children that he went to go collect.
Purple children.
And they got him out of the picture, the Purple Man out of the picture. So now we get to see in this issue how the purple children are going to affect Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and everything that's going on there in San Francisco. I'm really digging it. And last up for me, we talked about it before, Deadly Class number 8 from Image Comics. I am so looking forward to this issue because there's this mangled, murdering, psychotic character that's been introduced, and while the main kid is at the King's Dominion School learning about the deadly arts, this guy is wanting to create an academy of his own little school. And these people are messed up, man. I don't know if you got to read any of Deadly Class, but this guy and the people that he hangs out with are super messed up. So we get to take a look at what he's doing with his own little group of students, and how they're ultimately going to conflict together, and we'll get to see what's going on from there. Finally, a return back to the school aspect of it all in this series, and I'm really looking forward to what's going to develop from there. And guys, Mjolnir. Hey, if you read the new Thor and you saw the new female Thor, tell us below what you thought about that. Did you get a chance to check it out?
No.
I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
I'm sexist.
Oh, boom! He's just kidding, folks.
I prefer my Thor to be male.
That's awesome, though. Guys, that's it for this week. Tons of great stuff hitting the shelf. Tons of storylines that are continuing. Some wrapping up. Some great new number 1s for adults and kids alike for you to check out. And then, of course, the favorites that we like. So if you have been reading any of those, tell us below. Answer the question of the week down below. Your favorite horror movie ever. Tell us down below. We want to know. And that wraps it up for this week, guys. We are Excalibur Comics, Cards and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Don't forget about our store in Texarkana, Texas. You can always follow us and find out what's going on at ExcaliburCCG.com. Our link to our Facebook page is down below, our Twitter page. Subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed yet, we always come together every week now for 2 years almost here to talk about the great comics that hit the shelf every week. Randy can't be here today because the shop is in the process of doing some changes, and he's majorly involved.
Back moving boxes.
That's right. He's moving the boxes, baby. Moving the boxes. He's wearing out those knees and the back, and moving stuff from one storage facility to a new storage facility to help us consolidate things in one location, because we got tons of stuff. When Buzz said check out some back issues of Judge Dredd, we have thousands of back issues here.
Of Judge Dredd.
Not just Judge Dredd, but Judge Dredd and anything else, just about anything else you can think of. So be sure, if you're ever in the area, or if you're looking for something in particular, you can give us a call, email us. Our contact information is on the website. We can probably help you find what you're looking for. And that's it for this week, guys. So until the next video, be safe, take care. Thanks, Buzz, for being on the show.
Anytime.
And we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
See ya.